Hello and welcome to the Football Fanzone podcast. Today we're going to be talking about some previous fixtures, some upcoming fixtures, and the January transfer window as a whole. My guest today is Liam Edney.
Hello.
And let's get straight into it. Arsenal-Swansea at the weekend. Pretty crazy result.
Yeah, that was, after Swansea beat Liverpool, it was to be expected that they would show up again, but I don't think anyone expected them to show up how they did.
Yeah, definitely. I think Arsenal was. I don't understand why after that you wouldn't be trying to get a defender or a midfielder in. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, they need attackers. I don't think are the main issues. Defence is their main issue, and I think that was very obvious when you conceded 2 goals to Sam Clucas. You've got issues.
Sam Clucas isn't a bad player.
No, but he's not a player who should be scoring 2 goals against you.
Yeah, agreed. Similar case, Chelsea-Bournemouth. We saw that one. That was a bit of a shambles for Chelsea.
The second place trophy race has just been ripped wide open with this weekend's results. Chelsea just weren't even that bad in the first half. They were the better team, and then they just fell apart for like 16 minutes or whatever it was, and Bournemouth just had a bit of fun with them.
Bournemouth looked good.
Gary Cahill had a shocker. Every single goal, he was in the wrong position, getting caught out. Just poor.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think Conte will make it to the summer?
I don't know. I think that the board want him to walk so they don't have to pay him compensation, but I think he wants to be fired so that he gets the compensation. So I think it's just like who's going to give in first.
Yeah, I saw a statement today saying he intends to finish his 16-month contract or whatever he's got left.
I reckon he said that, so he's just like, fire me and let me have my money, please.
Yeah, definitely. United versus Spurs, another one we watched. That was a great game.
That was some awful defending from Man United, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not a great game if you're a United fan. There wasn't a lot
Phil
to
Jones had. Oh, he was bad, wasn't he? First goal, he was out of position. Ericsson gets in 10 seconds into the game. It's 1-0. Second goal, he scores it himself. He's doing anything he can to stop Harry Kane from scoring. So he does it himself.
Dembele was great for Spurs.
He's always great, isn't he?
I feel like the last couple of times I've watched Dembele, I haven't been overly impressed, but he really showed exactly what he does.
Yeah, I think Moussa Dembele at his best. He's one of the best midfielders in the league. He's just such a rock. And it's a player that I would love to have at Liverpool.
Did you see the argument between Mourinho and Pogba when Pogba came off?
No.
Yeah, they had some words when Pogba came off. Well, he was playing alongside Matic, and a lot of the time he just wasn't there defensively, which I'm sure United fans will completely agree with. He's not a defensive midfielder, so playing him alongside Matic and expecting him to work together with Matic to stop attacks and stuff clearly didn't work, and that allowed Dembele to just control the midfield. I think I saw somewhere that it wasn't a confirmed stat, but they were saying it's the first time that Pogba's been subbed off in a United shirt. So
really,
that's
pretty big. Mourinho clearly likes to keep him on for the big game, but don't want to take him off.
Yeah.
So yeah, he must have. But I think he's playing Pogba in the wrong position. So as much as you want to criticise Pogba, you've also got to criticise Mourinho. That
yeah, definitely.
Pogba's not a holding midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to let him go forward. I think you'll see on Twitter, that's all United fans want. They tweet about it like day after day. They just want Pogba in an attacking role.
Yeah, it was weird to watch it, and it was only after watching Match of the Day when they pointed it out, because I've been complaining about Matic the whole game about how bad he was, but they showed a lot of chances that United gave away where Matic is there and Pogba's just up the pitch. He's not back. He's not trying to get back. I think that's just Pogba.
It seems weird we've got Herrera, so why wouldn't you go Matic and Herrera with Pogba in front?
Yeah. It does seem strange.
Well, you've even got players like Michael Carrick in there. Carrick can play holding much better than Paul Pogba can, no matter the price tag.
They played a three behind Lukaku, didn't they? They played Lingard, Martial, and Sanchez. I guess it was Lingard playing the behind Lukaku. You think obviously Lingard's been in great form, but against a team like Spurs,
if you want to get the best from Pogba, one of them has to be swapped out for Pogba.
Yeah, and then put Herrera into.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that does seem like a strange one. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Let's talk about January transfer window. We're going to look at the ins and outs that every team made in the Premier League and decide on like an overall score, how well they did as a whole of the window. Starting off alphabetically with Arsenal, who had a very active window. Obviously, two big names in, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Henrik Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan with the swap for Sanchez and Aubameyang costing just over 60 million. That's Arsenal's record signing, right?
Pretty sure. They don't often spend a lot. I think before that was Ozil, 40 something. I don't know how much. No, I don't think Mustafi or Xhaka were more than that.
It does feel like they.
Lacazette. How much was Lacazette? 55.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Lacazette
sure.
Before Aubameyang.
Yeah. It does seem like they got rid of Debussy, who I think had overstayed his welcome a fair bit.
Yeah.
Got rid of Coquelin, got rid of Theo Walcott, got rid of Giroud, who players who have all been kind of sitting around the club for a while. And obviously Sanchez being the big one, but that seemed like it was coming for quite a while. Got a centre back in, and they loaned him straight out. So
he was like 1.8 million. I'm not even going to attempt to remember his name.
Mavropanos, I believe, is his second name. Constantinus. I don't know how you say that name.
Very well known player.
Very well known from the Greek Super League. So, I personally, what do you think about the Aubameyang deal? Because I don't value it an awful lot.
They didn't need Aubameyang. They should. They probably needed a defensive midfielder or a defender more, like you said earlier. But if Aubameyang's available and you've got the money and you think you can get the deal done, you're stupid not to try it, I suppose. Like, the goals he brings, they just speak for themselves. So if you've got the money and you can do it. But they should have got a defender that they were going to keep at the club, as well as. Because he's not going to solve all their issues.
Mm-hmm. I personally don't understand it at all. I don't know. I don't see the value in the deal. Aubameyang for me is a very similar player to Lacazette, and Lacazette hasn't scored a ton of goals this season, but I do feel like he will eventually find his form, and I'm not really sure on it. So for me personally, I think the 60 million would have been much better spent on a midfielder or a defender or a goalkeeper. They did get Mkhitaryan for Sanchez, which, considering Sanchez had wanted to leave for a while, and it seemed like either they were going to get a small fee for him or possibly have him go for free in the summer. I think that they got forced into it, kind of, but they did get something out of it.
It was the best outcome for them that they could have hoped for.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do like an official rating, because, I don't know if you could compare things like that for every team. But the Mkhitaryan deal I think makes sense, but the Aubameyang one to me doesn't. So I'm gonna say they had an window.
Window. That's official rating there.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. So on to the very busy Brighton.
No, Bournemouth.
Another very active club.
More busy than Bournemouth. Bournemouth did nothing.
Brilliant.
Bournemouth, didn't sign a single player. Then I wouldn't trash them because I don't think they badly needed to sign a bunch of players. They're 10th in the Premier League. They've just smashed Chelsea 3-0. Speaks for itself. They clearly don't. They're not lacking in quality. Callum Wilson's back and doing well. Jordan Ibe seems to have just hit form. Stanislas is playing well as always. You've got Fraser. It's all coming up Millhouse for Bournemouth. They don't need to buy anyone. I think they should be happy with what they've got until the end of the season. I don't think they're going to get relegated. They're 5 points above, but that's 10th. But you look at the teams that are down there, and I think Bournemouth are better than a lot of them. So I think they're fine. I didn't need to buy anyone. Why waste your money when you're happy where you are?
Yeah, Bournemouth surprised me when you look at the table and see they're 10th. They haven't been on my radar at all for
but it's because the relegation battle is so close. They're still in the relegation battle even though they're 10th.
Yeah, I guess.
But no, I'd rate them again a meh window. They didn't do a single thing. So
yeah,
really.
It'd be hard to rate them anything but that. I mean, unless you're
they didn't lose any of their key players, which I suppose is good.
Yeah,
they've got a lot of players there that would be on a lot of other teams' radars, and they've kept hold of all of them. So they should be happy.
Callum Wilson's picking up in form as well, so
yeah,
that should be good. Moving on to Brighton.
That was Brighton.
Yes, Brighton. Not very busy. No massive departures. The only big arrival, really, Leonardo Ulloa from Leicester on loan, returning. They're doing.
Didn't they sign the other guy?
The other guy.
Yeah, they signed someone else at the beginning. Near the beginning.
Jurgen Locadia for 17 million.
Yeah.
From PSV. I didn't even register that. I know nothing about him.
Not me either.
So we'll see how he does.
It's a lot to spend for a team like Brighton, though. So
17 million.
I hope.
Yeah. And they're 15th with 24 points. So probably could have done with a bit of investment.
Yeah,
they did need
1
goals
point off the drop zone,
and they brought in 2 forwards, Ulloa, who I'm not a big fan of, but
when Leicester won the league at the beginning of the season, he scored quite a few before they went with Vardy up top on his own. Ulloa banged a few that season. They were also linked to sign Celtic's Moussa Dembele at the very beginning of the window.
Yeah, that would have been huge.
Which, that would have been a game changer, but obviously that fell through as they only bid 18 million or whatever, and we just kind of laughed them out of there because
if they had got Dembele, I would have said they had a good season, good January transfer window approaching season.
Yeah, it's hard to judge until we see the new signings play games, but yeah, only 1 point off the drop zone. I maybe would have expected a little bit more just to stay safe.
Yeah, when you look at the teams around them, your Southamptons, your Stokes, Newcastle, Palace just above them, West Ham just above them. They've all got. The one thing I would say is they've all got players that can win them points single-handedly, and when that comes to the second half of the season, that can be huge. Players stepping up, getting winning games by themselves, and I feel like Brighton don't have that, so that might be a bit of an issue. But we'll see how good Jurgen Locadia is and Leonardo Ulloa at Brighton. So I'm going to say they had. I really don't know about this Locadia guy, so I can't say if he's good. But
I'd give him a solid meh.
Yeah, because they didn't lose any big players. But you would have liked to see them spend. I mean, they spent 17 million, which is a lot for Brighton. But it's just because the guy is not Premier League proven and stuff that could come back to bite them. So yeah, I think another meh January transfer window.
Yeah. All right. Well, on to one of my favourite teams this season, Burnley, surprise package of the year. They've got, obviously, their squad on paper probably isn't as good as a lot of the teams that are in the relegation battle, but when you see them play as a team, they got a great team. So they added 2 players, both attackers, both wingers. Aaron Lennon from Everton for an undisclosed fee, which, even though he's 30, he's still very quick. And I think their team, the one thing they don't really have is pace. So he adds that. And then on the other wing, they've added George Kevin and Kudu from Spurs on loan. And he's even quicker.
Yeah.
So it's players like Vokes and Barnes and Wood will be licking their lips at like 2 such fast wingers to just give them the service that they want.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's good business for Burnley. Didn't lose, once again, they didn't lose any of their big players. They've been playing so well this season. Sean Dyche signed a new contract, which is huge for them. He may eat worms, but he's a good manager.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, I'd give them. I'd say they've had a good window.
Yeah,
very solid, good. Probably the best of the teams we've covered so far, anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Also, Nkudu and Lennon, I would imagine, are on quite a few relegation battle teams lists that needed a bit of pace. You know, like we just mentioned, Brighton, maybe Newcastle, Huddersfield, teams that lack a bit of pace. 2 good steals for them. I don't know.
Definitely.
I don't know how much they're going to deliver, but having a bit of pace in the team is surely going to benefit them. Moving on to Chelsea, who have had a very strange transfer window. Being linked with several tall strikers who I can't imagine many Chelsea fans would have been happy with them signing. And looking at it now, well, they really did lose a fair few players. Brought in Emerson at left back from AS Roma, who I think is a good signing, 20 million. Not too sure whether Marcus Alonso will stick around if Conte leaves. He's quite a specific fullback. I'm not sure if there are many managers that would keep Alonso because he plays so specifically. If they want to play a more defensive fullback option, then Emerson's that guy. 20 million, 23 years old. That seems like a good one. Giroud for 17 million. He's 31 now. I don't feel like this is a good signing. He does score goals. I feel like the goals that he scores are very similar to the goals that Morata was scoring. So
it says Morata's missing them in a minute. So yeah, I think it's a good signing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they're going through this bit where they don't want to spend too much money, so they're looking at all these target men they can get on the cheap, and I think they've got the best one possible for the money they were willing to spend.
I'd agree with that. For the value for money, Giroud for 17 million is definitely.
And he's experienced as well. Morata can actually learn from Giroud. He's experienced, and he scores beautiful goals.
Mm-hmm.
I think he will come up good for Chelsea. He's done time again for Arsenal, and he's not going to be their main striker. I think Morata will still be their main guy, and I think Giroud knows that. But as a backup striker, you don't get much better than Giroud, I don't think. So I think it's quite a good business from Chelsea.
Ross Barkley also signed 17 million roundabout from Everton. He's been playing a fair bit at the moment. Well, fair bit for Ross Barkley.
He doesn't seem too happy that he's playing a fair bit at the moment, though.
No. This signing I don't think makes sense to many people. I get Chelsea needed backup players, but it just feels a bit strange. 24 years old. So maybe there's something in that he can develop, I guess. I really don't know about that one. That one's really strange to me. I can't see him doing anything at Chelsea.
No, people are tipping him to be the next Lampard or whatever. I don't see that at all. But like you say, he's only 24, so he can improve. But I just don't know if Conte's the best manager to get the best out of him. He's already slagged him off twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Conte really wanted the deal. I think it was pushed through from above him. And we'll just need to see whoever they get in next. Whether if it's an English manager, they get in next, which I doubt it will be. But if it is, he might grow better under them because they have more understanding of that kind of player.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't really know what good the deal's going to do for Barkley.
Yeah. Some of the bigger departures. Kennedy's gone out on loan to Newcastle. I think that's probably a good move from Chelsea. They have so many players out on loan at this point that.
Yeah, and he's so good that he needs first quality football to develop.
Mm-hmm. And developing under Rafa Benitez, if you're going to send somebody out on loan, there's not many people you'd probably rather send them to. Baba Rahman, do you remember when they signed him? It seemed like he was going to be.
That was ages ago, yeah, and it was like,
he went out on loan.
Next big thing coming, whatever, and then you just didn't really use him.
He went out on loan to. Who was it last? Was it last season? Maybe the season before that? He played for like Sunderland or something.
Was that not Gillibod?
They got relegated. I'm pretty sure him and Baba Rahman went to a low team, and he's gone back to the Bundesliga to Schalke. Did they get him from Schalke in the first place? I think they might have done.
It's good for him.
Yeah,
he's good to get used to Chelsea. It's a better move for him than it is Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea really care. Gets a bit of money off their books, I suppose, if Schalke paying the wages.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't just sell him, to be honest. After
they seem very conscious about money at the minute, so I'm surprised they didn't just try and get in a bit for him. But then, if he hasn't played in so long, who's going to just straight up pay some money for him?
Yeah, true. Well, I'm sure he did come from Schalke, or maybe he was there last season on loan. Maybe that's what it is. So, maybe Schalke would spend the money. Another loan, Charlie Musonda. I know you're very happy about that one. 2.5 million fee as well.
Yeah. 18-month deal though.
Yeah.
Don't see that very often. That's from Celtic's point of view, that's big deal. To get a player like that for 18 months, I think that's on the level of getting Patrick Roberts for another season. It's brilliant. We have so many wingers now. But yeah, and it's good from Chelsea as well because Brendan Rodgers is a good manager to grow talent. We've seen that with Patrick Roberts.
Yeah.
Through massively last season. So yeah, I think it's the best move for Chelsea and Musonda. Yeah,
if you're an attacking minded player, who's he's 21, to go to Celtic right now would be great. They play some great attacking football.
You're getting exposure as well. He's gonna hopefully, if obviously they're gonna win the league, but hopefully they get through Champions League qualifying, Musonda's gonna get some Champions League experience. Which he's not going to get at Chelsea because they're not going to play him in the Champions League, are they? So
very true.
Yeah, it's a great deal for him.
Two huge departures, in my opinion. Michy Batshuayi to Borussia Dortmund. They on loan. They got a fee for him. I felt like, despite the fact that I didn't rate Batshuayi and all I ever seemed to do was saw him score tap-ins late in the game, and when he did play 90 minutes, he didn't look convincing. I felt like recently he had been stepping up a bit and playing a bit more of an all-round game.
I like Giroud, but I don't know how much better Giroud is than Batshuayi.
Yeah.
Whether it's worth going out and spending more money or just actually spending some time developing Batshuayi.
Yeah. I don't. That one's a weird one to me. However, if you're Batshuayi, Giroud is 31. I don't know how long he's going to be at Chelsea. If Conte does stay, will he keep Morata? He's only out on loan to Dortmund, where he'll
start for Dortmund. They've just lost Aubameyang.
Yeah, which is great for Batshuayi to be developing at Dortmund as their starting striker, and then to come back to Chelsea, he could, if Conte leaves, he could come back and go straight back into the team.
No, it's a good bit of business from Chelsea on that respect, because if there's one team that is renowned for developing young players and turning them into world-class players, it's Borussia Dortmund. So it's a great place for him to go. Yeah,
and this one is the strangest of all to me. Not from a kind of relations perspective, but from a talent perspective. Diego Costa went back to Atletico Madrid for 66 million.
Yeah, well, it's not strange. Just obviously we knew it was coming from the beginning of the season, but it's strange that why wouldn't obviously Conte just. I think it was more personality issues than skill issues because we can see Costa's a world class striker. He was huge in helping them keep the title last season. So I don't really. So it must have been personality issues, but surely you try and get past that and keep him because he's so good.
Yeah, that's what confuses me. And you look at the kind of strikers they're trying to sign.
They're just not Diego Costa's, just not as good.
Yeah, and especially when you look at Olivier Giroud, I feel like Diego Costa does a similar job to Giroud, not as good as, playing just in terms of the way Giroud will stand in the box and score headers and stuff late in the game and stuff. But just Diego Costa seems like such the perfect fit for Chelsea at the moment.
Yeah.
That
it's a really weird one, and it's a huge loss for them, but a huge gain for Atletico.
Oh yeah, huge game for Atletico. So overall, I think their loan deals were very successful. But Chelsea do so many loan deals that you would expect them to do that. And then to get rid of Diego Costa and then bring in Ross Barkley and Giroud, I personally wouldn't be happy with that if I was a Chelsea fan. I do think Giroud is a good backup striker, but so was Batshuayi. So I'm gonna say they had a bit of a down transfer window. Not a bad one because they did make some good moves.
But they didn't add depth because what they needed was depth to fill positions, and whenever they signed someone, they loaned or they lost someone.
Yeah.
So the only depth they really added was fullback because they didn't lose any fullbacks. But no, they did. They lost Baba.
Yeah, that's true.
So probably I'd just agree with you there. It's a pretty bad one.
Yeah. Okay. On to the next one.
It's Crystal Palace, Roy's boys. Obviously they were bad at the beginning of the season, but then De Boer left and the Magic Man himself took over and turned them around.
Yeah,
they're now the Zaha team, and they're not in the relegation. They're only 3 points off the drop, but considering they didn't win in so long, I think pretty well. And 3 deals in, no one out, which I think is important. Don't want to lose any players when you're in a relegation battle. I'm not going to lie. I don't know anything about any of the players they've brought in. They didn't spend a lot. They got Erdal Rakip on loan from Benfica, centre midfielder, 21 years old. Adds depth in midfield, I suppose. They've already got players like Kabay and Milivojevic. The guy who scores penalties.
Yeah.
They've already got those two, so you add Rakip's that, and I don't know if he's any good now, but there's more depth. They also added a centre-back in Jack Jaroslaw, or Jaroslaw Jack. I don't know.
Surely it's Jack Jaroslaw, not Jaroslaw Jack.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Jaroslaw Jack, but it's Jack Gach. So Jack. Jaroslaw Jack.
He sounds like a villain.
For €2.75 million from Zagreb Lubin.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
23 years old, Polish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really. They don't have bad centre backs. They have Sacco, Delaney, Dan. Do they still have Tompkins?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. And if Tompkins. Oh, they did lose someone. They lost Freddie Ladapo to Southend. So that's not really.
Oh.
Not big.
There you
go. And they also signed centre forward, which Benteke's not been on the greatest form. He scored at the weekend, but apart from that, he's had some ups and downs. So Alexander Sorloth from FC. Oh, this is the team I can remember. Midtjylland.
I have no idea.
United played them in Europa League.
Yes.
That's all I know. €8 million. 22 years old. All pretty young signings, I suppose. So, but I don't know much about him. Has he got a lot of goals? Don't think so. He hasn't been at. He was only at FC Midtjylland for 6 months before joining Palace, but they made a bit of profit off him. He's got 15 goals in 26 games for them, but he signed for 350,000 and they've sold him for 8 million. So in 6 months, that's not a bad turnaround. That's their only real signings. I don't know a whole lot about them. So, once again, probably a window, because I can't really judge on anything else, but brought in 3 players, which probably needed a striker as well. Benteke not looking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, meh.
Fair enough. Everton brought in Theo Walcott, 22 million. That seems like a great deal. Seems to have picked form up straight away, so that's great. Hit the ground running. Cenk Tosun, who is yet to be seen how good he is. 22 million. They needed a striker, so I'm not sure how good he is. But they seem to be scoring goals, so that's always good. Brought in Mangala on loan, who I'm delighted about. And I don't know how he's going to do at Everton, to be honest. Maybe because they play so defensive and stuff, he won't have that much pressure on him and he'll play a bit better. Who knows? And a fair few big name departures. Obviously Ross Barkley, who wasn't really doing anything there, so that's a good deal. Kevin Morales has gone out on loan to Olympiacos, I guess. That's a good deal. Sandro Ramirez, the striker they signed, who was going to bring them goals, he's gone out on loan, which I think is very good. Aaron Lennon's gone, and Mohamed Besic has gone. So, fair few departures, but I think we expected that from Sam Allardyce to get rid of a couple players on the wage bill. And brought in Mangala, Tosun and Walcott, who I think... I'm not sure how good Mangala is going to be for them, but I think Tosun is a good sign-in, and I think Theo Walcott is a very good sign-in. So I say they had a good window. Good window.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Next is Huddersfield. They didn't do a whole lot. They got Terence Congolo in from Monaco on loan. Centre back. It's pretty, I think, 1 point off the drop zone. Pretty needed. He's an okay centre back. He'll add a bit of cover there. And they also, for quite a lot of money, I'd say, 12.35 million euros, signed Alex Pritchard from Norwich, attacking midfielder, 24. He's English, obviously, so price tag's got to go up a little bit. I think he's a pretty good player. Maybe he was a bit too good for the Championship. That's why he's moved up, and we'll see how he does at Huddersfield. But he may well find himself back there next season. Yeah, probably good for them. You maybe expected a little bit more business since they're only 1 point off the drop zone, but since newly promoted team, not really known for spending that much money, can't expect much better. So yeah, I think good for them.
Okay, Leicester is next, who only brought in one player, Fousseni Diabate, I believe is how you say his name, for 2 million from the French League 2. I watched him play in the cup against who did they play? Oh, I can't remember now. They won 5-2, I think it was.
Peterborough?
Sorry?
Was it Peterborough?
Yes, I think that. Yeah, I was thinking it started with a P, so we'll go with that. Diabate and Iheanacho played up front together, and they looked brilliant. If I hadn't seen that, I would have said, it cost 2 million from the second French league. I wouldn't be expecting anything, but he looked very good on his debut. Looked very energetic, which Leicester love. So I hope he does well because he looked brilliant in that game. So yeah, I'm optimistic about him. And then out, they got rid of 3 strikers. Islam Slimani's gone out on loan to Newcastle. He wasn't really doing a lot of the club. He's 29 years old. You could say, they've loaned him out to a Premier League team, another Premier League team, which is a bit suspect if he does well. But I don't know how well he'll do anyway. So I don't think Leicester would be too hurt about that one. Leonardo Ojo has gone out. He wasn't really playing. They've got better strikers, so that makes sense to me. And Ahmed Musa, who was quite high energy, so I enjoyed watching him play for Leicester, to be honest. But he's gone back on loan to CSK Moscow, where he came from, so that makes sense. They have a lot of strikers in the team anyway, so they've got Diabate, Iheanacho, Vardy, Okazaki. Makes a bit more sense, to get rid of three, and they've brought one in, and they've still got a lot of strikers. So hopefully that means
very heavy on the striker front.
Hopefully that means Iheanacho and Diabate get some game time. Otherwise, I'd be a bit worried about that. So on one hand, you could look at it that they've lost three strikers, but I don't think they were three of the better strikers at the club anyway. So. And they brought in this Diabate guy who looks promising, so I'd say they've had a good window.
Yeah. Next is my team, Liverpool. One in, lots of outs. In, obviously, on the first day of the window, Van Dijk, 75 million for Southampton. It's not exactly I think it's a transfer that everyone knows about. I'm very happy about it. A lot of money, but it's what we needed. Badly. He's not going to solve all our issues because he's still going to zone on Mark, which is stupid. But he's a presence in the box. He's calm, collected. He's a leader. He was missing from the dressing room, that kind of player. And I think he will be, if he stays at the club, will be a Liverpool legend to come. Future captain, possibly. Departure-wise, obviously got Coutinho going to Barcelona for 142 million. That one still hurts to talk about. I'm just going to skip past that one. Lazar Markovic has gone on loan to Anderlecht. Yeah. He doesn't get game time. He's still only 23, so he's still got a lot of potential. Let him go play football. Sturridge out to West Brom. He needed to leave if he wanted to get in the England squad. I wouldn't have picked West Brom as my favourite destination for him. Just they play defensive football and he needs the service to score goals. That's what he's about. He's a poacher. So I would have rather he go to Newcastle, I think, who were also interested. I think he'd get more chance of scoring goals there. And then you've got Marco Grojic has gone up to Cardiff. I think once again he just needed game time. Very promising youngster. And then we've got John Flanagan gone on loan to Bolton, and the less said about him the better, because he shouldn't even be a football player anymore. So yeah, that's all we're out. So for all those outs, only one in. No Coutinho replacement. I'd say we'd had a bad window, to be honest. Van Dijk was needed, but no Coutinho replacement. Firmino gets injured, or this Holgate thing, he ends up getting banned for it because it's still ongoing. Could be up to like a 10-match ban or something. We've got Ings and Solanke to rely on, which between them have 0 goals this season. So, yeah, we didn't buy the cover we needed. Bad window.
On to my club now, Manchester City. The big in, £65 million on Aymeric Laporte. That seems
65?
Like,
was it 57?
That might be euros, 65 million euros.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with him. I wanted the money to possibly go elsewhere, but that's just because Laporte hasn't been, in the media an awful lot. He hasn't been, making headlines or anything like that. It seemed like there was rumours about us getting him, and then we got him, so it's just kind of come at once. But he played against West Brom, looked solid, calm. It worries me about the future of John Stones, because I do like John Stones. I don't want to see him either not playing or go elsewhere, because I think he will be very good. He is one day older than Laporte.
Just one day.
Yeah, just one day.
He's got bragging rights in the dressing room then, surely.
Definitely. It feels strange because it's like, John Stones was like the promising youngster centre back we had, who was probably going to be, if he had stayed at City, probably be City captain down the line, which I was very happy about. And now it's strange because Laporte has been on our radar for so long. It's strange to think that he's now the younger centre back, which is very strange. But I'm happy with him. He's a good presence in the team so far, from what I can tell. Mangala's gone out. That's kind of the in and out part of that deal. Very happy with that. He's gone out on loan. I hope we sell him in the summer, to be honest. The less said about...
No wiggle room, he can't get back in the squad, maybe?
No, I'd much rather have... I don't know, I can't think of centre back off the top of my head. I'd rather have Johnny Evans.
Fair enough.
I know what my guy.
How would you rate the window?
Apart from that, we didn't really do anything else. We brought in this Jack Harrison guy from New York for $4 million, and then loaned him out to Middlesbrough. I haven't heard anything about him. We got Marlos Moreno back from Girona, and he's gone out to Flamengo in Brazil. So, yeah. Apart from that, nothing. So, to be honest, I'm going to say we had a good window, not a very good window, but a good window, because I feel like a lot of teams who are 15 points clear at the top of the table wouldn't be investing 60 million into more players. If you look at Chelsea last season, they won the league and barely invested in their squad because, Morata, but they didn't sign a lot of backup players because they didn't feel like they needed to. They felt they had the team that won the league last season. So I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy that the board still have such faith in Guardiola that when he says, no, we need another centre back, they get another centre back in. The centre back he wanted.
It's mad. It's ridiculous. We've seen that with Real Madrid. They were the best team in the world last season.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't find any depth. Having an absolute shocking season. So you need to keep adding, and I think City will continue to add forever.
Yeah.
They'll just keep buying everyone. Next is United. Only one really big deal. Well, I mean, the only player in, actually. Sanchez. Obviously, Mkhitaryan got the other way. Lukaku's not scoring a lot of goals at the moment, so they needed someone. Storm from Man City. It's just bragging rights, I suppose. They got him for basically free because they won't play Mkhitaryan anyway. Obviously, they're going to have to play Sanchez a lot of money, but if, say, he still had 4 years left in his contract, he's a player that you'd have to pay 60, 70 million for, so they'll be happy with that. World-class player, they know that, and it's weakening a rival and strengthening them. They'll be very happy with that. On the outgoings, obviously they've got Mkhitaryan, and they have Tuanzebe going to Villa on loan, and James Wilson out, just players needing experience. And I'd say United average window. I think they maybe needed another defender in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, just Jones and Smalling are the starting two at the moment. With Bailly out, it's not good enough. I think Sanchez plus a solid defender, and I would have given them a good window because I think they're okay everywhere else. So it's just, I think they needed to strengthen that defence. So I'd say average.
Moving on to Newcastle. Interesting thing about Newcastle, they didn't sell any players or buy any players. It's just all loan deals. Slimani's gone out. They got Slimani in, sorry. Mitrovic has gone out, which seems strange to me. Mitrovic and Slimani are very similar players, apart from...
Where did Mitrovic go?
He has gone to Fulham.
Ooh.
Slimani's 29 and Mitrovic is 23. I feel like Slimani is quite a similar player in the way that he seems like his attitude is a part of his game. It doesn't really make sense to me. Rolando Aarons has gone out on loan as well, which seems strange. When you want a bit of pace in your team, him. So they got rid of him and got in Kennedy. A disappointing window for Newcastle. I'd say they had a bad window. They got in Slimani, who I don't think scores goals that much. I would have rather seen Mitrovic get back in the team, and just didn't do enough, to be honest. There you go.
All right, Southampton next. They obviously they lost Van Dijk. They didn't replace Van Dijk, so I think straight away it's not a great window.
Mm-hmm.
You got he's a player that needs to be replaced. He's such a big name in the dressing room. He's such a player. You've got 75 million for him. You tell me you cannot invest in another centre back there. It's got to be done. They also signed Carrillo from Monaco, is it?
Mm-hmm.
We have to wait and see because he hasn't got a whole lot of goals from Monaco, so I have to wait and see how that pans out. But as a striker, I think they needed one. Austin Long and Gabbiadini between them haven't got enough goals. Southampton are in the relegation zone. They're only 3 points off bottom. So they need a striker to put them away from the rest, and I think Carrillo could be that. Is still yet to see. I'd say bad window just because they didn't strengthen anywhere else. That was their only signing. You can't lose Van Dijk and not buy a defender.
They didn't get Promes either, who seemed like he was going to join.
Apparently they're going to go back for him in the summer, but by then could be too late.
Yeah, that is strange. All that money for Van Dijk and don't get a defender in. Stoke did very, very little business. Not money-wise. Money-wise, they spent €6 million on a fullback from Ruben Kazan. I saw him play against...
he looks quite good.
Yeah, I think he seemed okay.
He seems like a Stoke kind of player.
Yeah, they got in Badu and Dai as well from Galatasaray for 16 million, which seems expensive to me for a 27-year-old who's been playing for Galatasaray. That seems strange to me. I guess he might strengthen up their midfield a bit, but I'm not sure he's the kind of player that's going to give you that push out of the relegation battle. So bad window for Stoke, and I think that window shows that they are seriously need to start thinking about getting relegated.
I'm just going to think about it.
Well, they need to start thinking about what they're going to do to get out of it.
No, just accept it and go down on board of Stoke. Next, a team I think had a very good window. I think Swansea. Big window for them. Only 2 players in, but the players are quality. Andy King on loan from Leicester.
Mm-hmm.
Getting Andy King on loan, not spend any money on him, I think is big. Good midfielder. He'll add depth there. And then the return of Andre Ayew.
Yes.
23 million. He's been doing well for West Ham this season. I don't understand why they've sold him, but it's great for Swansea. They'll love it. The Ayew brothers are reunited. Be nice to see them if they play them both up front together. Yeah. He's got a lot of attackers now. They've got Boney, Abraham, Dyer, Jordan Ayew, Andre Ayew. A lot of options. They're level on points with Southampton now. They're 1 point away from safety. So I think they're in a good position considering where they were a month ago.
Yeah, I think they'll do it.
They could stay up, and I think the manager they've got in is the right manager to do it. Outgoings, just a bunch of loan deals. McBurney has gone to Barnsley. Almost went to Rangers, didn't. I'm glad he's gone to Barnsley instead. That's good. Rocky Mesa has gone to Sevilla on loan.
Wow.
I think that's a big loss.
Because
Rocky Mesa is a good player, but they've also brought in Andy King, but Rocky Mesa's probably slightly better. But overall, I think they've had a good window. I think they've got a good enough team to battle for safety now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Moving on to Spurs, who had a very quiet window, as you'd expect. Only 3 deals the whole window, which is Nkudu out on loan, which he wasn't getting game time. I think it's clever that they didn't sell him, because I felt like they might sell him just because of how little he's played. I think that's good. Moving on to Burnley, makes sense to me. However, Burnley are 7th in the table, and Tottenham are only 5th, so that could come back to bite them. But they are a fair few points ahead of them, so I'm just speculating here. They got Cameron Carter-Vickers back. He was out on loan to Sheffield, and he's gone straight back out to Ipswich. So that's standard bit of business. And they brought in Lucas Moura, who I feel like is a great signing for Spurs. €28 million. He for me, looking at all the attacking wingers that they could have brought in, Lucas Moura is one of the best fits for Spurs. The way they play, he plays to me very similar to the way that Son plays. Very attacking, very creative, fast, puts goals away. So I think that's a great sign for them. I can see him making his way into that starting team. Apart from that, did they really need anyone? Probably not. They got one of the stronger teams. I think there could be an argument for them getting a fullback, but their fullbacks aren't costing them games necessarily. So good window for Spurs, I think.
Yeah, very quickly next, Watford didn't do a whole lot. They did bring in Dolberg, not the one you're thinking. Not the good one.
I was stunned.
Bit mean on this guy, but Pontus Dolberg. It could be Dalberg, but it's D-A-H. I think it's Dolberg from Göteborg for €3.9 million.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Gomez is an okay keeper, so this guy's probably just back up. They also brought in Dodi Lukebakio, €5 million.
That can't be his real name.
Dodi Lukebakio, yes it is. Right winger from Charleroi. But they also brought in an even better right winger from Barcelona, Gerard Deulofeu on loan, $1 million fee. He's only 23. That's great for them, I think. Yeah, only loan deals going out, no big signings going out. They loaned out Zarate again.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he's still at their club, but he's loaned out to Al Nassr now.
Wow.
What a deal. Average window for Watford. Nothing else really to say about it.
Deulofeu is exciting though. If I was a Watford fan, I'd be excited about Deulofeu.
Definitely, but I don't think it's enough. But I think they're safe. But I think they want to push better than that.
Which side does Richarlison play on?
Left. I want to say left.
So you could have him, Andre Gray, and Deulofeu.
Yeah, and you've also got that new guy they brought in, but I don't really know a lot about it.
Yeah. So yeah, fair play. Next we've got West Brom, who their only departure was Higazi's loan ended, but then they bought him straight back for $5 million. So that's a good deal. Apart from that, the rest of them are just end of loans, apart from Daniel Sturridge, who they've got on loan. It doesn't say on this website that they had to pay, but they did have to pay straight up, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think they paid all of his wages in a lump fee as well.
Yeah. I think Daniel Sturridge is a great signing for West Brom. I'm really surprised he went there. They need goals. That's why you buy Daniel Sturridge. I think it's a bit, he costs a fair bit of money, and he's only there for 6 months. So the risk of injury, I think, is going to be worrying West Brom a lot. However, Sturridge, it would be good to see Sturridge motivated again. I think going to West Brom shows that he is motivated to play football and stuff. So I think we should see some glimmers of the old Daniel Sturridge, and I would imagine he'll score a fair few goals for West Brom in this 6 months. However, they are bottom, so Higazi isn't a new signing. They've just got him permanently now, and they've got Sturridge, but I think they needed a bit more. They did keep Johnny Evans, which I think is good, because it looked like he was going to go multiple points in January. But I don't know if it's enough. I'd like to think Alan Pardew and Daniel Sturridge can save West Brom, but it really isn't looking good for them, especially with teams around them really starting to pick up, like Swansea. I would imagine Southampton are going to find some sort of form soon. I really can't imagine them going down. So they've had an window and all, because they did make some good signings, but I think they needed to do a bit more.
Yeah, fair enough. West Ham asked. Very mixed. Mario in on loan, big signing, great. I think he'll be a good player for them. Only had to pay 1.2 million, but then again, he's only there for 6 months. but experienced player. I think it'll be good for them. And then they've also brought in Jordan Hugo from Preston for €10 million. That's why would you get rid of Andre Ayew and then bring in Jordan Hugo? I don't.
Well, new information might tell you about why they got rid of Andre Ayew.
What's that?
About the transfer chairman.
Yeah, saying about the didn't sign African players because they were.
They said they're not going to sign African players again, and it seems very makes you very skeptical that when you look at their outgoings, they got rid of Sacco and Ayew.
Yeah.
So that might be why.
Yeah, possibly, but I still think he's a much better player than Jordan Hugo. So
yes,
I don't think they've strengthened really. Hamario's obviously is strengthened, but attacking wise, I don't feel they've strengthened. So I'd say,
Not with Arnautovic and Carroll both injured.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're kind of relying on.
I don't think they'll go down, but I think if they want to push further up the table, they need better.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
All right. Let's look ahead to some games that are happening this weekend. Now that we've covered the transfer window and it's now over. Liverpool versus Spurs is the big one in the Premier League. What do you think?
I'm scared. Really scared. It's at Anfield. Always good. Spurs have only, I think, beat us twice at Anfield in the Premier League era, something like that. I think we've got a good enough team to beat Spurs at Anfield. It's just whether we show up. It's just that Liverpool was so inconsistent. You never know. I think either they'll destroy us 2-3-0, or we'll catch them out and we'll beat them 2-3-0. If we let them come at us and catch them on the break, then I think we could do it. It's just whether the players got the right mentality. I think beating Huddersfield was important for this. If we'd gone into this game straight off the West Brom and Swansea games, I'd be a lot more scared. But our attackers, I'd like to see Mane pick up form. He was pretty bad against Huddersfield, probably our worst player. Missed 2 chances that he should have at least got on target. Never mind scored. But and then with Spurs, you've got Caden Eriksson and Ali, which just scare me anyway. And obviously you've got Lucas as well now. A bit of pace catches out on the flanks. And that'd be interesting.
I'm going to say 2-2. I think. I think
I'm
the first half will be
3-1 Liverpool.
Arsenal versus Everton. Aubameyang could start for Arsenal. That's exciting, I guess.
Yeah, they have a lot of firepower if they find a way to fit it all into one team.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nuzio, Lacazette, Aubameyang all starting. That'll be interesting to see.
Everton, for me, despite Sam Allardyce's best efforts, when a team has that kind of firepower, there's only so much you can do to keep players, in check. However, Arsenal are very up and down at the moment. I'm really not sure on how this one's going to go.
I think 3-0 Arsenal.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because they lost Swansea, they'll bounce back. They tend to do that.
Big
debut. Great performance. Seen it when they smashed Crystal Palace. I think 3-0 Arsenal, comfortable game. Don't think Everton will really threaten them.
Yeah, agreed. West Brom versus Southampton.
Very big game.
Very big. I think
just as big as Liverpool Spurs, I think.
I think West Brom are going to win that one.
I don't know. I think a draw. I think either team needs to win it. I think West Brom need to win it more because they'll put them level with Southampton. Possibly Swansea, depending on their result of the weekend. But I'm thinking a draw. I think West Brom are going down. And I think 1-1.
Fair enough. Elsewhere in football, there's some big matchups. Atletico versus Valencia is a big one in La Liga. Atletico currently second and Valencia are third. Despite that, Atletico is 6 points ahead. So they've got that 6 point cushion from second to third place.
Which means you might see Valencia going out more. Valencia maybe want this more.
Potentially. I think Atletico will get it done.
It's at home, isn't it?
Yes. I'd say 2-1.
Real Madrid would probably love that as well.
Yeah, definitely. Valencia have been good, but I feel like Atletico just have the attacking talent to.
I think an all-round better squad, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Valencia have an average squad on form.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Atletico just have a very good squad.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'd say 2-0 Atletico.
Fair enough. In the Serie A, AC Milan coming off of the biggest win of their season over Lazio in third. They won 2-1.
Yeah.
They're playing Udinese, who have been a fairly reliable team so far this season. I think they're in 9th or 10th, and Milan are in 7th. So if Milan can pick up a win over Udinese, they can start getting themselves back on the right tracks. I think that'll be a big game for Milan, this one. I mean, after the Lazio game.
A bit disappointed with Milan this season. I think when you saw the money they spent and the players they're bringing in, everyone was like, AC Milan are going to challenge the Champions League, they're going back. And they just did exactly what they always do.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I'd like to see them win.
Be a big
I'll say 2-1 Milan.
Yeah, I think Milan will get it done. I'd say 2-0. And then in the French league, we've got Monaco versus Lyon.
Big game, second place.
Only 1 point between Lyon and Monaco. Lyon in second, Monaco in fourth. So very big. Pretty much, I think when people looked at the league going in, Lyon and Monaco realistically are the two teams that are going to put up a challenge against PSG. So I think this will determine. This is a big game for who gets that runner-up spot, because nobody's catching PSG. I think Lyon will do it. Lyon they play with such confidence at the moment. I do think it'll be a good game though. Maybe a 3-2. It could be a 2-2, depending on what Monaco show up.
I agree.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you for tuning into this one. We'll join you next week for another one where we look at our predictions for those games, see which ones we got right. And
we've got some FA Cup replays in the midweek as well.
We do. The Spurs one is one that I'm interested in watching. Definitely.
Yeah, same.
So see how that goes, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
See you later.